Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke?
Yeah.
Who wants to smoke?
Yeah.
Temperatures going up, the heat is rising, scholars showing up, audience vibing. We on a mission, competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the mercy of fire? So step up, stand up, can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough for the weak soft shell. Set the fire, fan the flame, smoke is rising in blooms, while the inexperienced today just does the choke on the fumes. Bring your science, bring the wisdom, even bring your religion. If you can't stand the heat, then please don't come in the HOK. It's just a session, learn a lesson, fight and overcome oppression. Who'll be the best debated by the time all the smoke clears? Who wants to smoke? I want the smoke. This environment is the toughest, so bring your best in. Put your spirit to the test. You stepping into the ring with the scholar with the no digits harder. I will make you holler in the information flow with power. You wanted to peak, the elite, the undisputed. Now watch as your outdated theories get refuted. I'm posted in the den, let the world burn. Pressure in the room, it's finally my turn. They want the smoke, I'm the whole forest fire. Watch the oxygen vanish as the flames climb higher. My mind is the weapon, I'm no joke. I'm the baddest, I come for the smoke. No joke, I'm the baddest to ever breathe. I don't play house, I make them leave. Smoke session. Smoke, 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 smoke session. I want the smoke. Smoke, 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 smoke session. SaNeter, you better warn them. Who wants the smoke? Who wanna say that I'm not playing? Oh my God, SaNeter, stop playing with me. Now Paul, you better tell him, you better tell her now.
Let me let the people know. Nepal is calling in because she don't want me to take credit for her song. But Nepal is both of our songs. You wrote the first part, and I came in with the second part. That's why it's called the remix.
That entire song. Why are you lying?
Nepal, don't do that. So you
wrote the whole song. Why are you lying?
All right. So evidently you didn't hear it, Nepal. You didn't hear the remix.
I didn't hear the remake.
Right. If you heard the remix, you would know that you didn't write the whole song. Because I came in with...
You wrote those ad-libs talking about sa.neter stop playing.
No, Nepal. I wrote, I want the smoke. I want the smoke. Let me play it again for you. Listen, are you listening?
sa.neter.
Are you listening?
Yes, but...
No, just listen. Listen to it right now.
Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Yeah.
See, this is your part. This is all your part.
Yeah. Temperatures going up. The heat is rising. Scholars showing up. Audience vibing. We on a mission. Competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the mercy of fire? So step up, stand up. Can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough for the weak, soft shell. Set the fire, fan the flame. Smoke is rising in blooms, while the inexperienced today just does the choke on the fumes. Bring your science, bring the wisdom, even bring your religion. If you can't stand the heat, then please don't come in the HOK. It's just a session, learn a lesson, fight and overcome oppression. Who'll be the best debated? By the time all the smoke clears, who wants to smoke?
Now here's my part.
Who wants to smoke?
Now here's my part.
Who wants to smoke? Smoke session. Smoke session. I want the smoke. This environment is the toughest, so bring your best in. Put your spirit to the test. You stepping into the ring with the scholar, with the no digits harder. I will make you holler in the information flow with power. You wanted to peak, the elite, the undisputed. Now watch as your outdated theories get refuted. I'm posted in the den, let the world burn. Pressure in the room, it's finally my turn. They want the smoke, I'm the whole forest fire. Watch the oxygen vanish as the flames climb higher. My mind is the weapon, I'm no joke. I'm the baddest, I come for the smoke. No joke, I'm the baddest to ever breathe. I don't play house, I make them leave. Smoke session. Smoke session. I want the smoke session. SaNeter, you better want 'em. Who want the smoke? Who wanna say that I'm not playing? Oh my God, SaNeter, stop playing with me. Now, Paul, you better tell him, now, Paul. Stop playing with me.
All right, you hear it? You hear the difference now?
Okay.
Is that fire?
I love it. Listen,
all right.
baby, that's not why I call. Listen, I want to let the audience know that what I was saying is I wrote the song.
Yes, I know.
No. Listen. Your part is great. You think I'm competing with you because they keep on saying AI this, AI that. Some of these songs are not AI. Yes, AI does the music, but we create the song. That's why I come in. And why am I echoing?
No, that's because I'm close.
Yeah, we create that. Yeah, that's a song that we actually did. That's one of our songs, but of course AI does the music and everything. But we created the lyrics and the melody, and AI just made it better. And those are great lyrics. I didn't hear that second part. The remix. Yes, that's very good. That's very good.
Okay.
So, yeah, I want to let the people know sa.neter's not just sitting up there clicking a button.
I'm not going to take your credit.
Yeah. AI can't take our credit either.
Right.
That's the thing about AI. It's great, if you're not a musician and if you don't have a bunch of, tech, how do you say, experience, like shout out to Aqua Nation and all of the great artists out here, you can now write your own song, make the melody up, and feed it into AI, and AI will do all the music for you.
Yeah, but it's not
When you're
just do
gonna
the
do
music.
it.
You gotta see what type of instruments you want. You type it in. You want drum. You want piano. You want horn.
Yeah.
You want, take out.
Yeah, that's what I'm letting them know. Yeah, I'm letting them know that we are actually writing the songs. But I wrote that song originally. But you did a great job, honey. I didn't hear that till just now.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't deny it.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me go. Let me start the show.
What is it, real quick? What don't forget to promote the debates and what we have coming up with DMG, and also my debate coming up with Ali. So peace and love to you.
All right.
Shout out to the Untouchable Empire. I love you. I'm listening.
All right.
Peace, everybody.
Peace. All right. Fam, let me turn down my mic so in case. All right, I'm gonna say peace and black power to everybody. Last Friday, my brother came in the building. God Energy came to Harlem, and I went to pick him up at the train station. And the brother brought a little information with him. He came into Harlem with some information. And of course, Ankh called in to the show. And I'm going to give you that right now. Without any further ado, God Energy. Oh, before that, y'all see my Knicks doing their thing. Y'all see them boys. This could be their year, y'all. This could be their year. I'm tired of crying, man. I'm tired of crying over these Knicks, man. This could be their year right now. I'm tired of boo-hooing. It's time. This could be their year. Boston got knocked out. And who's the best team now? We are. All right, yeah, y'all already know what it is. Peace and Black Power family. Y'all see who we got on the camera. We got my man God Energy in the building, man. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Good that you came through today.
Of course.
Came through Harlem. What do you think about the debate you had with our brother Chief X?
It was a good debate. You know, he put up a front for what the opposition is on that topic. You know what I mean? And I feel like he did an all right job representing what the opposition would be to that type of information, what you would bring up. You know, the fact that he brought up the Arab influence, the Umayyad influence and all of that. But where the misstep is not knowing the demographics of Arabia, right? Because we think that a continent or a landmass is a proxy for a different ethnic group or peoples, and we know populations move. And as has been stated a bunch of times on the channel, you know, in a lot of these places, the ethnicities are on a gradient. It's a scale. So it's not just one demographic of peoples that are there. And a lot of times when you go back 100 or so and hundreds of years, thousands of years, the population that's in that area is way different from the modern population. I mean, you know, America is a perfect example of that. You go back, you know, 2,000 years, and there's a completely different population here in the Americas. So when you go back, you know, 1,400 years to Arabia, it's different populations running around. So even when you talk about who those Arabs were, you know, you have to be specific on who those Arabs were, the area they came from, and what different ethnic groups were there. So he put up a good fight, but he didn't know what he was up against. You know what I mean? And I tried to warn him. I said your greatest strength is also going to be your greatest weakness. And that's exactly how it played out. You know what I mean? So he put up a good fight, but of course, you know, my opinion is I definitely smoked him in the debate.
So if it was anything that you forgot that you would like to drop, what would that be about the Moors and stuff in Spain?
So I don't really think I forgot anything, but when it comes to that term, the Moors, outside of just the Islamic expansion, again, I do think it's important to realize that that term Moors was being applied to dark-skinned individuals hundreds of years before the Islamic expansion. So that's what informed the Europeans to even call the Muslims Moors, right? Because of their indigenous understanding of the word Moor. So when they saw this invading force of Muslims, they knew to apply that term to the Islamic Moors because they were informed by their indigenous understanding of the term Moors, which dates all the way back to the Roman era and the Greek era, right? You could reference the Germania, Topochromos, Thematographica, Sacra et Profana, which documents the von Morsen family. It documents the genealogy of the von Morsen family, which is a 17th century Bohemian family whose name Moor goes back to their Latin ancestors, their Etruscan ancestors that used to work with the Flavians, right? And so their name has been Moor ever since the Flavian era, right? This is 600 years before the Islamic era, 700 years before the Islamic era. You have the Black Etruscan family of the Moros, right? Of the Moor family. They were known as Knights of the Moor, and they were allies with the Flavians specifically. So this long and rich history of that term Moor being associated with dark-skinned individuals in Europe specifically, that is what informed the later Europeans of the 7th and 8th century to call the Muslims Moors.
Why do you think the pseudo killers, Ankh and Cedric, why do you think they go so hard against the Moors being black in Spain?
So I think it is an appeal to authority. And again, when we do these things and look to these databases and authority, having an authority does not take away the lens, the historical lens, or the historical bias, or the influences that scholar is coming from. Because everyone with a PhD still is informed by their culture. They still all have schemas and these things that inform them on their outlook on the world, right? So going through the rigors of the scholastic method, yes, that gives you a good standing and a good footing, and it familiarizes you with the landscape and the different types of literature and what a consensus is. But because there has been a consensus established by academicians, it in no way negates the fact that academicians have biases, and these people are also still presenting things and researching things through their lens, right? And that's what brings subjectivity still into play. And again, we've given many examples of things that used to be accepted widely by the academicians that they've had to update on. That's the beauty of science, right? That those that adhere to science and the scientific method value about science is that it is self-improving, meaning what was right today in science, once more accurate information comes out, science has to update itself, right? So with that, we are just bringing updates to consensus and things like that.
Okay. If it was any topic that you would have a debate with Ankh or a discussion with Ankh, what would that be? Because I know you heard a few of his points, some of his teachings. What would you have a discussion with Ankh about?
So, honestly, I don't know much of where we would disagree on. Okay. As far as out of Africa, what the genetics are, right? We both are adherent to science. It's my adherence to science that's always being portrayed in denial or in question or something like that. And I feel like that's more of a political thing than an information thing. To not know that I adhere to evolution, that right there is a big red flag of misunderstanding who I am. So the fact that I do play in the realm of genetics, that I do play in the realm of science, I think more of a political adversarial positioning is taken more than actual scholastics and information. But anything dealing with genetics, anything dealing with North.
Yeah, y'all hear that win, right? It's my bad. I messed up because I didn't put the cover on the mic like God Energy got on his mic. You see the fur at the top of his mic on his chest. I didn't put that on there. It blocks the wind, and I just made a mistake. It was windy that day too, Friday. So my bad, y'all. Y'all hear the wind? It's going through my mic, not his.
Africa.
Well, him and Cedric and Juju, they do teach that we are old world monkeys. Do you agree with that? That we are old world monkeys, man?
We are descended from old world monkeys, right? We are definitely descended from old world monkeys, because when you look at that group of old world monkeys, they represent a branch that does not use the prehensile tail, right? And that's what differentiates the old world and new world monkeys, is this use of that prehensile tail, right? With us being hominids, we are associated with primates, and as you know, primates don't have tails. Gorillas, chimpanzees, bonobos, orangutans, they don't have tails. That stems from the lack of use of the prehensile tail from the old world monkeys. You know what I mean? So that is perfectly in line with the evolutionary process.
So how does an old world monkey look? Have you ever seen one?
So old world monkey would be another simiiform, another a more animalistic type of simiiform, and that I think is something that we should shy away from, being connected to the natural world, right? Being classified as quote unquote an animal, right? A lot of people, especially in our community, right, with the rhetoric, the stereotypes, the pejoratives, call it, the racist history of calling our people monkeys, right? So when we hear that, that is a big trigger for us. But it just so happens in the reality of evolution, we happen to be related to these things. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's something that is something that's insulting to any of us, because we're all descended from that. All races of people are descended from that. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's something we should shy away from.
Why do you think the Hebrew Israelite community have a hard time dealing with that? They would sit back and laugh and say we crazy as hell. You talking about we are primates and stuff like that. Why do you think they have a hard time dealing with stuff like that?
This is Planet of the Apes, right? When you look at the movie Planet of the Apes, the Planet of the Apes is real. But we are those apes. Human beings are those apes. Planet of the Apes is a reality, and it's us. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard for those that come from a biblical narrative or a lot of mythologies, because the lack of that observation from the ancestors led them to hypothesize in various ways. Even in those tellings and mythologies and origin stories, those that is definitely what gives all Bible believers and all Bible readers that idea that man and mankind and humans are somehow different or set apart from the animal kingdom, right? And even in Islam, in Islam, it is stated that the discrepancy between shaitan and the jinn was that Allah created the jinn from smokeless fire, and Allah created man from the dust and mud and clay of the earth. And Allah had said to the shaitan that they must bow, or the jinn, pardon me, that they must bow to man, and the jinn and shaitan were like, how do we bow to this man when we are made from smokeless fire? We are greater than man. So it's things and narratives like this where man has been set apart or made special or made outside of the animal world, the natural world, that gives them this separation, right? And I think it lends to how man and humans have been able to abuse the planet so much, have been able to exploit the natural resources and the natural world so much, because we've been taught by these religions that we are greater than, we are better than, we are outside of. So once you do that, you know, you're left to be able to exploit something that is lesser than yourself, instead of seeing ourselves as a part of and one with.
Okay.
Definitely.
If you want to, man, go in on whatever else you want to go in on.
Okay.
Remember what you was talking about?
Oh yeah. Well, that brings us back to the peopling of Arabia, right? Because when you get into these demographics and the movement of the out of Africa expansion, right? This group known as the Basal Eurasians, they settled in Arabia. So the main stopping ground for the African-looking peoples that left out of Africa was the exposed Arabian Peninsula, which is right below Sumeria, where we call Mesopotamia. Right, that area that is now the Persian Gulf, it used to be exposed. It used to be a landmass back in the day. So when the out of Africa expansion happens, that was a major hub, and that is where the unmixed, right, those who did not mix with the Neanderthals, that is where they were stationed at, and that group in history is known as Basal Eurasians. So it is from there that a group, their cousin and kinsmen, dispersed through the Levant, through the Hebrew Israelite territory. That's where mixing with Neanderthals happens in Israel, in Hebrew Israelite territory, and then individuals migrate further up into Europe, right? And they become the Arygnasian peoples, they become the Kostanki peoples, and things like that. But aside from going towards Europe, they continue towards Asia and India, right? And they become the ancestral ancient South Indians, which are the heavily melanated, the heavily Africoid, the phenotypically Africoid ancestors of the Dravidian peoples. Right, mm-hmm. And it was always recognized that what the earlier anthropologists would call the black belt, right? The black belt, or in their jargon of the day, the proto-Negroid belt that extended from East Africa through Arabia, through India, down to Melanesia. But when we have access to the modern tools and modern genetics, what you find is that there is a migration of peoples. There is a genetic lineage associated with that quote-unquote proto-Negroid belt. And it is related to the C haplogroup. It is related to that Basal Eurasian expansion and family, right? So that's why you find the C haplogroup, specifically C1a, found amongst the Arygnasians, which is the earliest European culture that you find in Western Europe, right?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I hope I don't take you off track. You can always come back.
Oh yeah.
The Hebrews are older than the Moors, right?
As far as the modern population or ancient, even
ancient.
When
Let's go back in history.
Even when you're talking about in history, yes. Even when you go back in history, yes.
So is it possible that some of the ancient Hebrew Israelites could become converts and became Moors?
So,
because it's all African. They all African.
So they're all dealing with the E haplogroup out of Africa off of the DE major clade, and it's actually funny you brought this up. I've told a couple brothers before that it is the Canaanite heritage is what unifies the Hebrews and the Moors, right? And both of them reject it. Actually, I've seen Moorish groups with the term Canaan land Moors. So I have seen Moors kind of embrace that Canaanite heritage. And then in small pockets, I've also run across Hebrew Israelites that embrace that Canaanite lineage as well. And it is that Canaanite ethnicity that unites the Hebrews and the Moors. So the ancestors of the Hebrews, with a little bit of mixing in, would have been mixed in with some of the Arabian populations that move into North Africa. But also you have Canaanites that colonized North Africa, right? Carthage, Hannibal, those are Phoenician Canaanites. Pardon me. There would have been Eloists and Yahwists among these Carthaginians. The same way they were worshiping Baal, the same way they were worshiping, Tanis, who else? All of the other Canaanite deities, right? You would have had Eloists and Yahwists among them as well. So when these people move across North Africa, the descendants of those peoples get swept up in Amazigh and Berber populations as well. So the Canaanites, that was the first presentation that I did, they have a strong presence and legacy. And the descendants of Canaanites would have been amongst the North Africans and amongst the Arabs when they swept across into North Africa as the Moors. That's a fact. And so one of the biggest gripes I had was when Dr. Ali Muhammad sat down with Shaka Ahmos, because he tried to pull the wool over Shaka's eyes a little bit with the terminology, right? And I was sitting there, because I'm into the Canaanites, I'm seeing through what he's saying, and what he tried to suggest to Shaka was that Islam was preserving what he called a Punic tradition. He specifically said that Islam was really preserving a Punic tradition, but Punic is a misnomer, right? Punic is a different way of saying Phoenix. That's Phoenician. That's a misnomer. That's an exonym. These people were Canaanites. So when you really get down to it, what Ali Muhammad was suggesting was that Islam was preserving a Canaanite tradition. Well, that involved the worship of multiple gods. That involved child sacrifice. That involves a bunch of things that are haram according to Islam, right? But in order to make Islam feel more indigenous, Ali Muhammad packaged that phrase with saying they were practicing a Punic tradition. No, they weren't. Punic is Canaanite, and that's exactly what the Abrahamic tradition was fighting against, right? It was this separation from what was then Canaanite, the monolatry, to stop worshiping multiple Canaanite gods to only worshiping this syncretized God in the Bible. So that's that. There is a little bit of relation and play there ancestrally between Hebrews and Moors, but it comes through the Canaanite lineage. Most definitely.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Most definitely.
Peace, brother.
All right.
What's your website too, my brother?
Oh, thank you, my man. Yeah, thank you. All right, okay.
But yeah, so this is speaking of influence that would come through through the Levant, and then that would affect North Arabia coming down, right? But you have direct African influence through Aksum crossing the Red Sea and coming from Somalia through the Horn of Africa into Yemen, and specifically Ethiopian influence coming into the Hijazi region. And a lot of research is being done about the Aksumite influence on the Hijazi region, on Arab Christianity in the Hijaz and Yemen, and then also how that influence then leads into Islam, right? But I like to talk about what happens on the other side in the eastern portion, right? And we're gonna rewind back with these Basal Eurasian groups and how they moved then into India, right? So I mentioned the C haplogroup and how it created that belt, that black belt, or what the out-of-date anthropologists termed the proto-Negroid belt, that stretched from, the Levant, Arabia, India, Southeast Asia into Melanesia. But aside from that C haplogroup, you have the F, the G, and the H haplogroup specifically, right? And it is the F, the G, and the H haplogroups where the peoples of the ancient ancestral South Indians are belonging to. And this makes up that black and melanated population in India, the ancestors of the Dravidians. And this becomes very relevant when you're talking about the early civilizations, the Indus Valley civilization, because we always talk about Kemet and Sumer. We always talk about Kemet versus Sumeria as far as the oldest civilization or the oldest instances of writing, right? But what gets left out of the conversation is the Indus Valley civilization of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, the complex over there. And some scholars even report that Sumeria was influenced by the Indus Valley civilization, and that you can date civilization to Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro, and the Indus Valley civilization over Sumeria. Right? So that gets glossed over. So this is where the Dravidians become super important, highly relevant, right? Why? Because one could try to ask or make the argument, well, what language did they speak in the Indus Valley civilization? And then that would give us an inference into the people groups, right? Did they speak Austro-Asiatic language in the Indus Valley civilization? Did they speak an Indo-European or Indo-Iranian language? Or did they speak a Dravidian language in the Indus Valley civilization? So what has come out with the help of the decipherment of a lot of seals in the Indus Valley complex is that the Indus Valley civilization spoke a Dravidian language. So these are the ancestors of these melanated, these Africoid peoples descended from the ancient ancestral South Indians. So it's been recently deciphered that the Indus Valley civilizations, they spoke Dravidian. Now you did have what is called the Indus Periphery Cline, right? Which is a mixture, a northern group, which is a mixture of Iranian hunter-gatherers, largely made up of the G haplogroup, right? This is where the G haplogroup becomes relevant. And they're a mixture of peoples with the Iranian hunter-gatherers and Anatolian farmers, right? So the Anatolian farmers and Iranian hunter-gatherers, they mix and create what is known as the Indus Periphery Cline. That group mixes with the ancient ancestral South Indians, the melanated group, right? And this group, with their mixing, they largely populate the Indus Valley civilization, with the Dravidians taking precedent. And this happens before the expansion of the large Indo-Aryan group, the Indo-European peoples that pushed the Dravidians south into places that they are found today, right? The Telugu, the state called Tamil Nadu. You know, we see a lot of Tamil people and Telugu people. When you see those really, really dark Indian peoples, a lot of them with broad noses, they have the prognathism. Those are either Telugu most likely or Tamil.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Taking you back off track again, and you can find your way back.
Of course.
But I want to ask you, if we was to look at ancient Egyptian people today, who would they be today?
Who would they be, or who would they most look like? Right, because
I know where you're getting at. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you have amalgamations, you have mixing, you have interbreeding, and a population group that starts off looking like more like you or Shaka Ahmos, with invasions coming and a bunch of intermarrying and things like that. Individuals and offspring eventually become lighter, looking like me, and then they start looking even more like whatever demographic has the rulership. You know what I mean? So with how humanity goes, we always start off with a darker base population, and then because the darker populations just so happen to genetically be older, nothing superior or anything like that, but the darker populations are usually older, inhabiting the lands first. So the newcomers bringing a new culture, largely patriarchal, largely militaristic, right? They start to mix in more and more. And as they take control, the demographics start to reflect more of who is in control. And again, we can use America as an example of that, right? America started off with a more copper-colored indigenous population, and as lighter-skinned peoples came who were more militaristic, more patriarchal, they came, established their governance, and now the modern population reflects those invaders. So that's the same same thing that happens in the ancient world. But who they would look like more, you know what I mean, will reflect what they look like phenotypically. We know is Southern Sudanese, the Beja population, which is still there today. You had Dinka peoples, you had the Twa being documented there, the short pygmy peoples, and there's still the Batwa population of Central African rainforest hunter-gatherers that exist today, right? So when you look at contemporary Africans in that area, those were the peoples that would have inhabited Kemet as well. The Dinka Sudanese, the Beja peoples, right? You would have had hunter-gatherer type peoples there, like the Batwa. So those populations would also represent, you know, the phenotypes of what the ancient Egyptians would have looked like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is there a possibility, because a lot of our people, not a lot of them, but brothers like Shaka Utmost, Rakufu, these new brothers that's coming on board now, that's studying ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, they starting to think that they are the ancient Egyptian people, that they are the ancestors. Is that, what do you think about that? Like their ancestors were the ancient Egyptian people. Even Ashe, our brother Ashe.
So that
shout out to Ashe.
Yeah, shout out to my brother Ashe.
What do you think about that?
Squad. I don't subscribe to that. You know what I mean? There would have been, you know, some genetic crossing between East Africa and West Africa, of course. East Africans and West Africans both have deep-rooted ancestry in North African groups, you know, like the Ibero-Maurutians, like the Capsian peoples, like the Kifian peoples. So West Africans and East Africans would have a common ancestor. But by the time of Kemet and by the time of our enslavement, you would have had so much genetic drift that would happen between these two populations to where you wouldn't call them our ancestors. They would be distant cousins and great grand uncles 3 and 4 times removed, right? But to call the ancient Egyptians our ancestors, I think is a little disingenuous, right? We're not even largely descended from Dinka Sudanese populations or Hadza and Hadzabe populations, which are East African groups, highly melanated, highly Africoid, what you would call quote unquote Negroid, but we don't even have ancestry with those Africans, right? We are specifically from West Africa, Niger Kordofanian.
I got to find this video. Excuse me. I got to find this video with Shaka Utmost, and he talked about the migration of the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Kemetic people, migrating into West Africa.
Yes, and that,
oh man, okay,
and that happens.
Yeah, so happens. If they did that, then of course it was some mixing going on there.
There was amalgamation going on, but not to the degree where you could call them our ancestors.
Okay.
Now, if we want to claim, Africa and Africans as all of our ancestors, then under that broad view, fine, you can make that highly generalized statement, right? At that point, it becomes a highly generalized statement that any continental African, we are all of the same family. So if you contextualize it that way, then you can make that generalized statement, but I think it would be intellectually honest to acknowledge how generalized that statement is, right? The same way that British descended peoples would claim the Roman Empire because they are all European. But the Romans, as Latin descended peoples, would be different from the Germanic tribes of Northern Britain and England and Scotland and Ireland, right? So the same way that an Irishman cannot say that the Romans were his ancestors, we can't say that the ancient Egyptians were our ancestors. But if they're claiming all of Europe and white Europe as a family, then you can generalize that way and we can do the same thing. So that's where I'm at with it.
Okay, go ahead, carry on what you were saying.
But speaking of the ancient Egyptians, the term Ethiopian in ancient times was applied to the ancient Egyptians.
Why we don't talk about Ethiopia as much as we talk about Egypt, Kemet?
Because there is there is a little bit of a lens, right? The biases of the academicians to downplay the Nubia complex, to downplay the Africanity of Kemet. So to acknowledge Ethiopia, to acknowledge Nubia, to acknowledge Somalia, that would be to acknowledge the Africanity of ancient Egypt as well, right? So in order to divorce Kemet from its African cultural and ethnic identity, you have to isolate Kemet. But because in the record, in the historical record, there is so much reference to the connection between Ethiopia, Nubia, and Kemet, you kind of can't talk about Ethiopia then that much, because it's only but so long before you run into Ethiopia's influence on Kemet, Nubia's influence on Kemet, or Ethiopia and Nubia's origin of the culture and people you later find in Kemet. You know?
Yeah.
So in order to Europeanize Kemet or Arabize Kemet, you have to keep Ethiopia and Nubia hush hush. And I think it's a great thing that us in this community have shown a light on Nubia, on Ethiopia, right? The different groups that were in Nubia, like the Pangrave culture, like the Medjay, like the C group Nubians. These are all different groups of peoples that inhabited Nubia and Kush, and they find these through the burial types, right? So how you bury yourselves indicates your culture and people. So when you look into pre-dynastic Kemet, pre-dynastic Nubia, these are the three major types of burials that you find there. The Medjay have a different type of burial. The Pangrave culture has a different type of burial. The C group Nubians have a different type of burial. So as the archaeologists uncover these burials and the character in which these burial sites take on, it gives them an inference into the different tribal groups or groups of peoples that made up these ancient Nubians.
Let me tell you this, right? You got the pseudo killers teach that the Moors of Spain were not black. You know that because they was going along with Chief X. But not only do they teach that, they also teach that the ancient Egyptians didn't call themselves black.
I get that.
I get it too, that. Because we wasn't using the English language, but you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
So with that though, there's nuance to that. There's definitely great nuance to that. I think the misconception comes in that black.
But is that doing a disservice to our young people that's coming up?
It's doing a
If you're going to say that the ancient Egyptians did not call themselves black, then why not give us what they did call themselves, how they did represent us as a people? Yeah. Because they don't do that. They just take it away. Like, they wasn't black. They didn't call themselves black.
Yeah, and what I think that stems from is buying into and this taking this position and stance, it does stem from our racial trauma, right? In order to preemptively combat our oppressors' ability to differentiate us and call us inferior, right? We take this stance as a preemptive strike to go, race is only modern, and y'all just invented that here under this thing, and nobody ever acknowledged race or ethnicity or difference in skin color at all. That's something modern that y'all just made up, so that makes it invalid, so that don't hurt my feelings. But you don't have to do all of that for your feelings not to get hurt. And in taking that stance, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater and the soap. You know what I mean? So we are definitely doing a disservice to the history and to our young folks coming up, because yes, there was a gradient of populations, like I just mentioned with the Indus Periphery Klein and the ancient ancestral South Indians, talking about the Dravidian peoples. Yes, fully acknowledge that. But you also have a demographic, because the black community exists on a gradient. You look at my skin tone, you look at Chief X's skin tone, you look at Ashe's skin tone, and all of the brothers and sisters that come onto these platforms, and we as what is called the black community exists on a gradient, right? So the fact that our modern population as the black community exists on a gradient does not erase the fact that we self-identify collectively as a black peoples, as a melanated peoples, as the black community. And what I shown in my presentation was that the Moors existed in that context as well. The term Moor is synonymous with the modern term black, right? So that is an exact example of that population existing under that same cultural context that we are. And that was the same thing in Kemet, with them even referencing black in the term Kemet, right? And then that's where the rubber hits the road with that, of were they talking about themselves? Were they talking about the land? And if they were talking about the land, was the land a representation for the people, right? Because was it called the black land? Because black people inhabited that land, right? But, and a source I'm gonna have to get for you later, something that gave me great context to this was that when the Greek language was imposed on the ancient Egyptians during the Greek occupation, the ancient Egyptians self-referenced as, in the Greek language, melapodes, which means black feet, right? So if the ancient Egyptians, when having to speak a foreign language, they self-referenced as something still containing the word black, that lets you know they did identify with this term black.
That's right.
They did see themselves as opposed to this, because that's one of the major defining characteristics. When my tribe meet your tribe, what you look like differentiates us. And when you have a difference in skin color, that's the main thing we're gonna describe. You know, and in the debate with Chief X, my source brought out actually, and I might have did it in the zipping up the body bags on haters video, that the same way that the Arabs and the Umayyad Arabs referenced white individuals as the color red, my source brought out that the ancient Egyptians referenced white people and lighter skinned peoples as the color red as well. Further contextualizing the acknowledgement in the differences of races, Herodotus even described the Germanic peoples of Europe as looking like a race completely onto themselves. So even Herodotus, whom we would call a white Greek, characterized the Germanic tribes as looking foreign even to himself, right? The Germanics that were blonde hair, blue-eyed, red hair, green-eyed seemed completely foreign even to Herodotus. So we then have another example of peoples noticing different phenotypes, racial types, and skin colors, and that's among Europeans. Herodotus, the Greek European, is pointing out the Germanic Europeans and saying they look completely different to all of the other Mediterranean peoples he's ever seen. So I think we do ourselves a disservice. We do the intellect of the youth a disservice, and we do history a disservice by trying to erase ethnicity and race from history to soothe our own traumas and insecurities of dealing with racial oppression in this modern era, right?
Yeah, hold on.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? I see you getting that first face-to-face, man. That's big.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
big. That's really big. Let me ask you this. Agreeing with evolution is different than actually understanding the processes and how you evaluate the processes when you add it to your historical view. How close are you to getting there, or do you think you're there?
Oh, I'm learning. You know, I'm not getting a PhD in this. So would I claim to know everything about evolution? No. That would be grandiose and ridiculous of me as an independent researcher. You know what I'm saying? So first with the ego check, I'm not the one for that. You know what I mean? So I'm not all knowing. I'm not claiming I know more than this one, that, and the third. No, we all learning, and none of us have PhDs in evolutionary science or genetics at the moment. And I'm definitely a student, and I am learning. You know what I mean? So I would never claim to say, oh, I know it all. I got it all. Definitely.
That ain't the question, though. The question was, how do you apply it to your historical reality? You know what I mean? When you're trying to actually like make a presentation, and there's going to be a place where your black allergy, right? That thing that get in the way. You know, when I say black allergy, I'm just simply saying your bias. right? You're biased for your people. There's going to be a moment when they get in the way, and it's going to come. It's going to come in conflict with evolution. How you deal with that?
So
it's how you really understand, you know what I mean, the thing. Because it's supposed to hold your biases back. But go ahead.
And I'm glad you specifically contextualized it and honed in on that specific thing. So because and it is the adherence to science, evolution, and genetics that puts those biases in check when it comes to the blackology. Before we start saying off the wall, wild, crazy stuff, like some of the elders that we both know were saying crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I get that, and I understand the stance you took to protect against that. But again, I'll repeat, I'm not the one for that. You know what I mean? Because I made sure I noticed those things. So I made sure I adhered to what I needed to adhere to put those biases and ridiculous claims in check. But also, nothing is going to take my ethnocentrism away, right? Because we all should know and acknowledge that in academia is also a battlefield. You actually are a perfect example of that because you brought the battle straight to me. So academia is a battlefield, right? And it's not just a battlefield between those like me and you. It's a battlefield amongst academicians and ethnic groups in academia. So again, I had said earlier that even the highest accredited a scholar and authority has what's called a lens. They have their own cultural lens. They have their own theories that are guiding them. They have their own independent thoughts underneath the consensus, underneath what drives them to their consensus. So to also say that a PhD or accreditation takes away your bias or lens, I also feel like just hold on real quick, right? Because I see in the study of Indo-Europeans and the Indo-European peoples, the steppe migrations, the Yamnaya peoples, even the study of the SLC genes, there is an ethnic and racial incentive for these people studying these things. And that's part of their lens and their loyalty to their ethnocentrism. And that's how these people have hegemony and have taken a spot of authority. And I think we should embrace the same thing. And nothing is going to make me take away my ethnocentrism, but I'm not going to fall into the same pitfalls of pseudoship and ghetto scholarship that the elders did. And that's what I've always tried to proclaim to you as a youngster coming up, that I will not do that. I'm not going to make you ashamed. That's not what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. I'll make this point and be clear with this. All right. Because like you say, we're all learning, nobody's an expert. There was a point in time before science actually matured, right? There was a time where they thought it was 3 continents. And that was the authority. That was the Greek authority. The Greeks proclaimed 3 continents. The Greek philosophers, right? So Isaac Newton, right? My fault. Before them, they all proclaimed that, right? Now, when did man start to proclaim that the phenomenon was the authority? So I say to you, there was a time when he had to break away from the authority. And I'm saying,
yes,
I'm at that rupture. I'm saying, you know, the teams that practice science and leadership, we're at that rupture where you have to, and it's going to sound wild, but you got to sit and think about it by yourself. We have to break away from the authority of the age-old elders. That is not disrespect. That is saying the same way they put down the Greeks. The Muslims looked at the Greeks as the authority, the Greek natural philosophers as authority. The Europeans stood on the shoulders of the Greek philosophers' natural authority. And when they discovered the Americans, right, that was the last piece that made them realize they don't actually know what they claim to know. Because if they did, they would have known. And there were quote-unquote 7 continents. They even, prior to that, had measured the size of the shape of the earth at 320 BCE, I believe. My fault, 320 AD, right? Remember, Aristophanes, he measured the earth from Egypt.
Aristophanes, that's
right. And what he said was, they basically said that if people were on the other side of this, right, on the other end of it, they'd be walking upside down. So they say, that's not happening. So they didn't even recognize that the earth itself was moving, right? So Even though they had the shape of it, they didn't realize it was moving because you can't tell it's moving. My point is, we're at that stage where I'm telling you, yo, to go to the scientific literate and really hungry for this information, scientific based, we have broken away from the authority of the elders. That's not
right.
disrespectful. That's not disrespectful. That's simply saying that we're going in a place they could not go because we know more than what they knew, and we stand on the shoulders of the things they got right. We will not keep pushing the things they got wrong.
Exactly.
So if you can remember that, bro, and keep learning, then one day you'll look up and say, dang, there's some gems in our conversation we've been having for the last close to a year now. So I appreciate you, bro. Stay affixed to it, right? I'm never doing this to shame you or to harm you. I just see the potential in you, right? And I see the mistakes you make because I made the same ones. That's what I'm gonna tell you, bro.
Right. Everything you just said was in line with my statement before you made your statement that I will not fall into the pitfalls that the elders made. I did. I said that, but your statement was made as if I said I agree with everything the elders said. You know what I mean? So it's important to clear that part up.
No. You don't got to. You don't got to fight. My statement was made because I understand where we at.
Yes.
Right? You said I wasn't fighting. I don't want to mess up your good energy.
No, this is good.
I'm simply showing you that science is serious, and your ethnicity and all that, right? That I admit that science does not get rid of all human biases.
Exactly.
That will be a lie. It does not. But as soon as you go too far with your biases, you'll find yourself making mistakes.
I completely agree with that. And what I try to do is bring my perspective to balance out where the authorities have gone too far with their biases. So that helps you understand why I do what I do. Because just because they are authorities and academicians, it does not negate the fact that they...
All that noise, y'all, that y'all hear is coming from Ankh. I forgot to tell this dude, go on mute when you're not talking, bro. Come on, man, go on mute. I forgot to tell him. I forgot you was up there cleaning and doing your work. You know, he got a cleaning. He got his own job. He's his own business, and I forgot to tell him go on mute because that's all his noise right there.
Also have gone too far with some of their biases based off of their elders, because they have elders that clearly went too far with phrenology and all types of racial science. So, okay.
Damn, he killed me with that shit, though. Said no better, man.
All right. But yeah, brother. So I'm glad we could come to changed in the same sentence on the same page of the same book. That's how contextualized this genetic anomaly is that you find amongst the Africans and the Dravidians, to where it cannot just be a result of convergent evolution, to where two different populations end up arbitrarily having the same genetic mutation by happenstance or genetic drift. No, how highly contextualized this 9BP deletion is, it shows an affinity, a genetic ancestry between these groups. So when you combine the 9BP deletion, when you combine the agricultural evidence, when you combine the linguistic evidence, a clear picture is painted then as well that at some point around the Copper Age, the early Copper Age, you see a movement, right, and an amalgamation between East African groups and the Dravidians. So, and those three pieces of evidence are some of the examples used to show that. Then the Lapita finding in Southeast Asia around this same time period shows a movement of Dravidian populations eastward. So when you combine all of these evidences around the early Copper Age, you see a movement of East Africans into India, which then caused some Dravidian populations of India as a result to move east as well. And that's what the Lapita findings represent. So the movement of peoples is a big story here and has been the central theme of this entire dialogue. And I think those types of things are beautiful to illustrate the movement of people's demographics and these population and ethnic gradients that has become a buzzword in this space for a while. So what links this is the connection between Sumeria and the Dravidians. Because now you have this linguistic complex between Sumeria, the Elamites, and the Dravidians. Dr. Laganatha, who is a Sumero-Tamil scholar, has done extensive work on the linguistic relationship between Sumerian and Dravidian. And Sumerian, as we know, has been classified as a language isolate for a very long time. But the major cutting edge scholarship that is pushing Sumerian out of the category of being a linguistic isolate is its relationship to Tamil. And it is through the work of individuals like Dr. Laganatha. But when you mix David McAlpin's work with the Elamite Dravidian relationship, you see this linguistic continuum between Sumerian, Elamite, and Dravidians. So again, this great importance that the Dravidians have, right? The Dravidians were connected to Sumeria. Pardon me. They were connected to Sumeria. They were connected to Kemet through trade, right? The lapis lazuli, that famous blue gem that was used so much in the art of Sumeria and Kemet. That lapis lazuli got to them from the Dravidians. The Dravidians were the plug for that lapis lazuli, and it was in search of these minerals, which is why the Dravidians, you could find Dravidian settlements all the way in Turkmenistan, right above Iran. The Dravidians were that far out mining for these minerals because they were the plug, right? They were the plug for certain minerals. So, you know, when you combine that with some of the work by Henry Rawlinson, the man who deciphered the Persian cuneiform at the Darius site in Persepolis, he makes the connection with Sumerian and certain East African languages, right? So all throughout this, you see this connection between Sumerian, Elamite, Dravidian, and the East African migration and the linguistic effect that it had in correlation with first Sumerian, explained by Sir Henry Creswick Rawlinson, and then with African and Dravidian with the work of Hamburg, Ndaye, and Upadhyaya. Right? So I just wanted to shine a little bit of light on the Dravidians, because as well in one of my sources, it was stated that the Arabs looked like a group mixed between Somalians and Dravidians. So when we talk about East Africa and Arabia as we've been, the Dravidians are the third key component. When you talk about Kemet and Sumeria, the Dravidians are the third key component. So I just wanted to take this time to just give a little overview on the Dravidians and be on the lookout for an in-depth presentation on the Dravidians.
That's what I was going to ask you.
You know what
is
I
your
mean?
next presentation going to be about?
So, Sa, you know, before, when you told me, you the one that told me to go into the Black Europeans topic.
Right. And
when you said that, I said, Sa, what you want me to do? Because I had 4 quantum physics presentations done at that time. Before Ashe and King J had their debate on African science,
right.
I had 4 quantum physics presentations done waiting in the stash.
Yeah.
I got another Canaanite presentation done in the stash. And I have an Arabia presentation done in the stash, right? So whatever the people want to see, Sa, whatever you think should be up next, but I'm ready for Arabia. I could circle back to the Canaanites, or for a whole month, I could do every Friday for a month on quantum physics.
Wow, that's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk more about that. Okay. I might finish off with Arabia right now since I just did the Moors. I might do Arabia next. And then, you know.
All right, so in closing, what you got?
In closing, we are in this as a people, right? And I think us shying away from being ethnocentric with our efforts, being ethnocentric with the black dollar, right? When we complain about us not circulating the black dollar, That's you being ethnocentric with the black dollar. We need to be embrace our unity a little bit more, and being afraid to look like the oppressor when they have their solidarity and ethnic unity, we do ourselves a disservice. And I actually think that is one of the major things we have been missing, because we wouldn't shoot and kill each other if we had more ethnocentric or unified politics, right? We would support each other's businesses more and circulate the black dollar more if we had a more ethnocentric mentality on economics. So I think in closing, right, we need to reanalyze our politics and our lens on these things, and us shying away from being too ethnocentric or too Afrocentric might lend us to be a little too more Eurocentric in our economic practices, in our politics, and in our historiography. So I'm gonna just close out with that. Peace, peace and black power,
Peace
y'all.
and black power, family.
Thank you, family. All right.
Yeah. He do look like K Solo a little bit. To keep it a buck. Yeah, he do look like K Solo. For real, a young K Solo. Facts. But anyway, to you, Moses, I'm not letting you run like that, man. You're gonna do this one-on-one interview with me because the people need it. I'm not gonna debate you, brother. I'm just gonna ask you questions and you're gonna break it down. That's what I do with interviews. So you would have an opportunity to get your message out without debating. You see what I'm talking about? That's what an interview is. When you look at all the interviews I do, you seen them ones I did with the sisters, the one I do with the brothers. If a one-on-one interview is me asking you a question and you getting it out. So you're gonna do this interview. Ain't no running, brother. Ain't no running. We know this the toughest environment, but you're gonna have an opportunity to get all your information out finally to the people and let the chips fall where they may. That's it. You're gonna do this goddamn interview. Ain't no running. You're gonna stand up like a man, like the ancestors told you. You're not no goddamn mouse. You're not a mouse, brother. All right? Suntan, what's up with you, brother?
Yeah, I see you over there smiling.
You know it.
Yeah. Hey, he made, I got to talk to God Energy. He made one little mistake.
When do Detroit play? Tomorrow?
No, in about another half hour.
Yeah, I ain't worrying about them with
Oh, you scared of Detroit?
Why would I be scared of them? I ain't worrying about them with
talking stuff, man.
I mean,
Come on, what's with the serious face?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of no damn Detroit. Y'all gonna get y'all ass spanked.
There you go.
Y'all was playing the Knicks when they ain't had no identity, but they were still learning. Don't forget, they were still learning. They was learning a new coach. They was doing all of that. And so you see, this is a different squad now. Okay. They came together on the right time, and you're going to see that this is going to be totally different. Totally different.
I hear you.
Yeah, all you got is K. All you got is
K. Past Cleveland first.
Yeah, all you got is K. And y'all should get past Cleveland. But look at that. Both of y'all went to 7 games. Both of y'all went to 7 games, man. Come on, man. You see the Knicks defense now? Come on, brother.
Man,
come on.
We're going to slap y'all around.
Okay. Good to hear that. All right. You were saying that
he made one mistake. I want to ask you. You asked him, did the Moors predate the Hebrews?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember what he said, right?
What he said?
He said, yeah, but they don't. The Hebrews predate the Moors by at least
right, but that's what I asked him. The Hebrews was here before the Moors.
No, yeah, but he said that the Moors was here first. That's what I just heard.
No, he didn't say that, brother.
Well, that's what
he did. Nah, he said the Hebrews was here first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because think about it. The Bible was here before the Quran.
Right.
The Bible was here before Islam.
Right.
So the Hebrews was here.
Yeah, okay. Well, as long as you remember, because I thought I heard him say that.
No. Nah, Brother La is a Johnny come lately dude. Brother La come late.
What do you mean?
He's a Muslim, brother. He come
Oh
late.
yeah, oh yeah, no
He's
doubt,
in the
no
baby.
doubt.
He's in the baby religion.
Yeah. You know, the Hebrews, man.
Hey, yo, you know what, brother La? I was just saying that to my queen. I said that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna go live, and this might be the first time y'all see brother sa.neter cry. I'm gonna cry, man.
Cry about what, son?
I'm crying tears of joy.
Oh.
If the Knicks win, I mean, not even if they win the championship, but even if they go to the finals, man, and at least it'd be tough. They don't just give it up. I think this is going to be our first time seeing brother sa.neter cry.
Well,
I know y'all probably saying, come on, Sa, this is just a goddamn game. Man, listen, you don't know how long I've been waiting for this, bro.
Yeah, when the last time y'all won one, Sa?
I've been a Knicks fan ever since I was a guy growing up, man. And you don't know how long I waited for this, bro.
I know that's right.
Damn, man, you don't know. Hey, you know what I said, right? This is what I said. If the Knicks win, right? I said, it's going to be a lot of baby making. It's going to be a lot of effing. P-H-U-C-K. It's going to be a lot of that going on. Because everybody going to be happy. People going to be happy, brother. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going out there. I'm going to be a part of the goddamn parade. I'm getting on the float. I'm getting on the float with J-Dub, Jalen Brunson, and all of them. I'm there, bro.
Thanks, you know, I just did my little search. Guess what?
What?
Man, y'all ain't won a championship since 1973.
That's right. I know.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, y'all gonna get it. Y'all time coming. Y'all told you, them guys you was talking about, what's his name? Mikhail.
If we don't get it this year,
Bridges.
If we don't get it this year, I guarantee you, next year we'll get it. We're gonna come as close.
No, next year if we don't get, because we ain't got enough power. We need somebody else with K. Our general manager didn't make no move.
Listen, brother, you don't understand.
Who don't understand?
Where do you think Giannis is going to be next year?
I don't know.
With New York. He going to be in New York.
If y'all get Giannis, y'all be destined.
You ain't see Giannis listen, you ain't see Giannis open up a business in New York? Why you think he's doing all that?
No, I ain't see that.
Yeah, he got a business in New York, brother.
You know, I'm in Detroit. How I know your business in there?
Yeah, man. Giannis, he already said it. He told his bosses, the only place I want to go is New York. He told them that. Yes.
Okay.
He told them that. You go look it up, type it up. Type it up and listen.
Oh, y'all good. If y'all get Giannis,
go to is New York.
Listen, if y'all get Giannis with the team y'all got now, that'll be some trouble. Y'all be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of it. Y'all gonna get rid of the big baby.
No, we gotta have Towns though. I don't think we see all Giannis gotta do is say, I don't want to go to no team but the Knicks.
You said that.
He did say that, but he gotta be strong on that. Because
let me see,
you want to win a championship, then don't let them gut the team. Because once you say that, then they're gonna try to demand Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, you know, and probably Ginobili. No, hell no. OG Anunoby, man. Can't get that.
Right.
Yeah, you can't get that.
Man,
hell no.
We need another some more firepower, man.
He's not going to Brooklyn because he's seeing how crazy whack Brooklyn is. Look at that. Brooklyn had Kyrie.
They had Kyrie, Harden. They had all of them.
Yeah, they had Kyrie, Harden, and KD. Where did that get them?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
KD took right off, man.
Yeah. Because you know, KD wanted to come to New York, but Kyrie talked them into going to Brooklyn.
Shit, if Detroit get KD, y'all in some trouble.
Yes. Yes.
We
Now
need
you're talking.
huh?
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
I've been talking. I was talking about Giannis. K needs some more fire. If
Yeah.
we get what's his name, y'all in trouble.
Yeah,
Play for
Durham
the
is
Clippers.
Durham is trash. All that the sucker got is just dunking.
Who?
He's trash. Durham.
Oh,
The center.
yeah, doing powerful though. He
Yeah,
know
he's
how to box
muscular
out.
and he damn sure got a nice physical body.
He know how to box out and all of that, man. He just was hurt, man.
Yeah, but how is he gonna do that with Dennis Rodman and Karl Anthony Towns when they both take the floor? How they gonna do that when we play the double big matchup?
We're gonna see because we got a guy named Reed who just as good.
Reed
got offense.
Come on, man.
What's up, Rakupu? Tell him about Reed, Rakupu.
All I know is we came back from being down 3-1 the same way we did when we had Billups and they played the Magic like 20 years ago. Deja vu.
Right.
And we come tonight against Cleveland. Watch what we do.
Hey, Sai, you and Rakufu, I wonder did y'all notice this because I know y'all been watching the playoffs, right? And Tracy McGrady, Carmelo, and Vince Carter, right? Did y'all ever notice that McGrady would never talk too slick about Detroit being down? Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, he never did that.
Because you know why? Because, hey, Sai, Tracy McGrady, Orlando Magic had the Pistons down 3, and Tracy was, I just so glad that we gonna get out the,
Hey, yo, hold up, young brother saying pause. He's saying pause to me because I said the brother got a nice physical, strong body. What's wrong with saying that, brother? I'm not
sports, man.
I'm not gay. I'm secure in my manhood.
Come on, son.
Brother, you got a hell of a goddamn strong body.
Yeah, man.
When you look at him, he built, man. What are you talking about? That's why nobody could push him around in the post.
That's right. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta stop that homophobe, y'all homo stuff, man. When y'all do that, y'all showing me that y'all acting like y'all homo or something.
Hey, Si, you know who was big as hell? I just knew. I looked it up because they got a lot of him bullying on online. Charles Oakley. You didn't see Oakley up close. I mean, you didn't see Oakley, right?
All right. But I still gotta say pause when you do that. Because I don't want to have Cameron and Mace bugging out on me. Oh, yeah. When you say, yo, you know who is big?
Oh, man. I'm talking about Charles Oakley was an enforcer. That man, I don't know what these. Man, I could sit and talk sports with the fellas where none of this shit come up.
Wait. Let me ask you this, Suntan.
Harlem, bro.
Neither you nor Sa seen that coming with the Timberwolves the other day.
No, I did not.
Yeah, the Ant-Man gone, so that's their firepower.
Yo, the Ant-Man remind me so much of Mike, but I'm telling you, when he get ready to take over, he gonna take over. Yep. Yeah, in fact, he looked like he could be Mike's son. I think that's Michael's son on the down low.
Ant-Man got it.
Hey, and that they center just as big as Wembyambi almost. What's his name? Kogler? Jokler?
All right, pause, man.
Tall, just as tall.
Yeah, he's 7'2". That's it.
Oh, okay.
But, let me just say this real quick. Today, brothers and sisters, I was on 125th Street getting it in.
Cinco de Mayo.
Street Debates is back. Oh. I got it. I don't think I'm gonna put it up though, because y'all gonna have to support. I'm not
out there, the Hebrews.
No, not the Hebrews. It was a brother that's out there that represents African culture, African consciousness. I ran down on a brother Infadiji today. Infadiji was out there, and I questioned him about being a debater. So he was like, "Nah, I'm not. I don't want to debate and this and that. But I got you, Infadiji. I'm coming down there with Captain Tazariak, and so we're gonna force your hand, Faber Infadiji, because I'm gonna have Captain ask you questions, and you're gonna have to answer the question. So that's how we're gonna get him."
What about the brother, son? What about the one you say you saw down there? Is he look like he up and coming potential?
Who?
The one you said it was a brother out talking to Afro consciousness. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about. But let me tell you this. Let me finish this.
Oh, you said it was 2?
Let me finish this. I started doing a segment out there because the first brother that I interviewed the African brother that's dealing with African science. He's African American, but
that's what I was finna
he's
ask.
African American, and he's an OG. But he started talking about how we are Africans,
Right.
and how the Africans are Africans. And so, you know me, I got to come with the realismism. He wrote a good book. He wrote a good book.
I want to see him on the show. So you bringing him on?
Yeah. So you know I had to hit him. Yeah. I said, brother, you know there's no such thing as an African brother. And he went off. What do you mean? And he started talking loud to people that knew me. He said, Sa, please, man, don't tell me you falling off, brother. You can't be falling off, man. I was just like, oh, my God. I said, no, brother, I'm learning more. I said, there's no such thing as an African, brother. Are you saying that these people are continents? They are not continents. I asked him, I said, are you an American? He said, no, I'm an American, African American. I said, no, brother, you living in America. That don't mean you are an American. You live in America.
Let me say something to you real quick.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Man. I said, you live in America. I said, when you look at the Africans that you call, quote unquote, from the continent, when they are home, they do not call themselves African.
I disagree.
They call themselves Mandinkas.
Right, by the tribe.
I'm from Mali.
Not true.
No, be quiet, Rakufu. It is true, and I'm going to prove it. See, that's why you shouldn't talk too fast. I just told you I took a survey, brother.
Right.
I interviewed 4 Africans, brother, and I asked the Africans straight up, where are you from? I said, where are you from, sir? And they told me where they were from. And I said, what do you call yourselves when you are on the continent of Africa by your tribal names? And they was like, yeah, I'm a Mandinka. We call ourselves Mandinka. Wolofs. They said, we Wolofs, we Mandinkas. I said, so you don't call yourselves African? They said, no. We call ourselves by our tribal name so other people will know who we are and where you from. I said, got you. Got you. And then there was a young boy. Let me see if I can pull up one video of this young boy.
I mean, I could kill your whole argument real quick.
I call it young boy. I think he probably was about 20. He was probably about 20 years old. Yep. Go ahead, talk.
I kill it real quick. Side, you ain't never told nobody you was a New Yorker.
No, I said I'm from New York.
I'm a Detroiter. Am I the city? I didn't tell people I'm a Detroiter.
No, I'm from New York.
It's a misnomer what you're saying.
No, it's not, brother.
Whatever city you live in, you live in New York. You're a New Yorker. I live in Detroit. I'm a Detroiter.
Okay, I got you.
That's it.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand, brother.
I don't know how you think I don't.
Because, and then I said, well, the only one that call you Africans are the Americans when you come over here. It was like, yes, you're right, brother. You're right. I said, because they don't know. Right. And he'll tell you that was racist. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Brother Larry have taught me this, and I digged into it deeper, and we dealing with realismism, bro. That's it. We just dealing with realismism while y'all still caught up on the crazy stuff. So I'm gonna get one video just to show you what I did today. And on my way home, I jumped in the cab. And I had my camera down because, you know, Africans, sometimes they don't want to be on camera. They get scared, you know? So I'm talking to the African on my way home. Watch what he say. Watch what he say, brother. Trust and believe me. Go ahead and talk. I'm going to get the video.
Okay, go ahead. Now, I'm just, you know, like I'm saying, you got to put it in context. You know, some people call the city where they live, they sell. I'm a Detroiter. That's all I'm saying. Just put it in context.
I hear you. What's going on? What's going on, brother?
Wake up, Ashe.
I'm woke. I'm woke up.
Don't you dare come up in here and try to dispute what I'm saying, Ashe.
No, Ashe always on. He always on the prowl.
Yeah. No, I'll be on real. I'll be trying to keep it real.
Ain't nothing wrong.
I was just go ask sa.neter. What do Dinka, Mali, whatever they call it, Wolof. What do they call the continent that they live on?
Africa.
That's all I was wondering. That's all I was wondering.
Right, but that's not saying they African. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, of course, I mean, that's just like guys like in the neighborhood, they say guys don't say, black people don't say they're American as a whole. I don't hear that often. You know what I'm saying?
Argument. Listen to my argument very clearly. At home, on the continent of Africa, they do not address each other as Africans. That's my argument.
Well, that's a good argument.
We don't address each other as Americans.
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Nah, we address each other as African Americans.
Jesse Jackson started that. That's not even Jesse Jackson started that BS. We don't do that. We just call each other black.
Yeah,
I wouldn't address nobody as a no. I'd just address. Well, it could be an oxymoron, man, because you can do it and you can't.
No, it's not. It's not an oxymoron, brother.
Oh yeah,
you're not. There's no such thing as an African, brother.
I mean, if you're living on a continent, you could be perceived as an African.
That's a label. That's a lazy group label. I get what you're saying. That's a lazy way
I get what he's saying, but we got to deal with reality. If you reality, you're an African.
Nah, no, you're not.
Yeah,
no, you're not.
You are.
Okay.
The way we was taught.
Yeah, that's because you was taught that.
Right. So that's what you got to go to.
Listen, I'm in the cab.
Let me ask you a question, man. What part of Africa are you from? Cameroon.
Yeah.
What do you call yourselves in Cameroon?
I call myself?
Yeah, like Mandinka, Wolof.
Oh, no, Bamoun.
Bamoun.
Yeah.
You don't call yourselves African in Africa, right? You go by your tribal name, right?
Right.
See? And I keep trying to tell my people here, the only reason why you call them African is because that's what they think you only know them as.
Right.
But they don't. Yeah, tell it.
You're right. But because, like you say, if you ask me whether from some of them, maybe you might know. Say, if you say Bamum, you're gonna definitely know this guy from Africa. Not everybody.
Yes.
You're gonna say that. Where you from? I'm from Bamum. I'm Bamum, like you said. He was like, "Where's Bamum? Is that Africa?" So that's why I just said Africa directly, straight.
Right.
So
See, Africa is the continent.
It's the continent.
Is where you from.
And you don't even know exactly part of Africa I am coming from.
Right.
Like when I say Africa is in general, you don't even know if I'm from South or West. You see what I mean?
Yep. I agree. I had this argument with this brother all day today, and I kept trying to tell them there are no such thing as Africans. They go by their name. And I stopped a few of the African brothers, and I was asking them, and some of them would say, "No, I'm Mandinka. I'm Mandinka." I said, "Thank you."
Yeah. All that stuff, Wolof, all that stuff, yes.
I said, they only call themselves African when they come here in America. Because y'all don't know.
Right.
See that? Come on, man. Come on, man. Yo, y'all barking up the wrong tree. Because I'm gonna go out there and get the information. I'm not done with this. I'm going out there probably Friday when all the Africans, that's where I'm gonna go. Yep, I'm going to the mosque Friday, where I go, and then I'm gonna go on 116th Street, where the Africans be, and that's gonna be my topic all day. I'm gonna be asking them.
And that's cool, Sa. And if they find that disrespectful, but we're not wrong for calling.
Why would they find that disrespectful?
We're not wrong or disrespectful, or because I see how you said it's a little derogatory towards them. They said they feel it's derogatory, but that's not because they're
I never said that, brother.
I thought you said they said it was racist.
No, they was talking about how the Europeans started calling them that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they was doing. They wasn't talking about us.
Right. Okay. No doubt. My bad. So we're not wrong for calling them Africans, and in 2026, it's such thing as an African.
Y'all limited to this.
Wait, because that's just like saying there's no such thing as a European.
Right.
Yeah.
Same
but there is a such thing as a European.
That's saying it's like saying there's no such thing as a European. You
right. A European try to get smart, cool with you, and I'm a Celt. I'm a Scot. Yeah, you was Celt and a Scot, but you're still a European.
Right. That's all we mean by Africa. We don't
you can still be a Wolof and be everything you want to be, but you're still an African.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
They still African though, bro.
Just like us, we Americans.
No, they not, brother.
So we not Americans?
Hell no. Hell no. You wildin'.
I'm wild. I just asked you a question.
No, we're not no goddamn Americans, brother. You from America right now?
Well, so what are you?
You're from the continent of Africa, brother. Whatever tribe you come from. We've been stripped of a thorough knowledge of self. And that's why we're still trying to find who we are.
I hear you.
Some people say, you know what Africans look at me as? They be saying, yo, you a Mandinka. That's what they say to me. They say to me, I'm a Mandinka. They say, you look just like a Mandinka. Did you know that?
That's what Sekou is, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. But I think you kind of, that's a little far-fetched. We wasn't born in Africa. Our lineage might go back to Africa. We're American. Like we was born in America.
Okay. Guess what Malcolm said? You like Malcolm X?
Come on, man.
Do you agree with Malcolm X information?
Yeah.
Malcolm X said, just because a cat had kittens in the oven, don't make them biscuits. Just because you was born here in America, don't make you an American. Let's say your mother took a business trip to China and she was 7 months pregnant, but the birth came a little earlier. Would you be a Chinese suntan?
You know, come on, man. You know, not.
No, I'm asking you, would you be a Chinese?
Of course not. That's not your lineage. No, that's not your lineage, bro.
You would be.
It's the same thing.
Y'all gotta be. See, I don't mean to be the bad guy.
I know what you're
saying.
But this the house of consciousness. Now we promote consciousness and we promote right knowledge. Would be, your nationality would be Chinese. And if you was to go to the NBA, let me say, and if you was to go to the NBA or something like this, you'll be able to like play for the Chinese team. That's why you see Serge Ibaka, who's from Congo.
Yeah.
He was able to play for France because he's French born.
That is correct. That is correct. But that still don't mean that's who you are.
Listen, when I first made the statement,
yeah, you're not an indigenous Chinaman, right?
Listen, bro, I said your lineage is from Africa, but you yourself was born here in America. You and generations of your people, so that makes you American. Your lineage goes back to Africa. That's what I said that before I said you're American. Right. I just wanted to be clear.
Okay.
Do that make any sense, Si?
Yeah. Our nationality is American. Like we like that's you American. Like right. You go anywhere else, you American. And they know you American by the way you dress and everything.
I agree. Your nationality is American. But are you really an American?
Your lineage.
You are not indigenous American. We are not indigenous Americans, no.
That's the question, Suntan.
Are you really an American? Yeah.
Are you really an American, Suntan?
My lineage goes back to Africa.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, absolutely.
But I'm asking you, are you really an American, Suntan?
Am I what?
Are you really an American?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I bet you them skinheads got something to say about that.
Hey, they not Americans either.
White boys got something to say about that.
Hey, listen, we was here before them. They not Americans. They Europeans. The skinheads. You see how that works?
Yeah, I see how it works.
They can claim it because they people, the conquerors, the colonialists. They the one who colonized us, right? But it's a matter of fact that we were here even before the colonialization. That tribe.
Brother La, where you at? Come on in, Brother La. We need some of your expertise, brother. Don't be scared, man. Come on, Brother La. Damn. Brother La, always picking and choosing, man.
Yeah, Brother Lot pick it. If you hear this nerve, he'll hop on.
Yeah, he only come in when Reggie is here or Morpheus is here. What's going on, man? You got a wrench, Brother La. That means you HOK for life, brother. Only people who got wrenches is HOK for life, man.
Well, Dizali ain't got. Ask Dizali for some input. So what you got,
Dizali, what's going on, man? What you got, man?
What's up, people? What's happening, man?
What's up,
It's all good, all good. Big brother, big brother. Everybody was happy. Peace, Nepal.
Oh, peace, Nepal.
Yeah.
Peace, Suntown, and everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Dizali. What you got?
You want to know about? You want to know my feelings on whether or not we are? Man,
absolutely.
I myself, I am American. I want all the benefits. I want all the benefits that come with being American.
I agree with you.
I'm not giving away my benefits, but genetically, I am majority African. I am 90.
Nah, you're not African, brother. You're from the continent of Africa.
So you're 90% African, 10%.
I am.
No, he's not 90% African. I keep telling you, he's 90% from the continent, brother.
Well, I've agreed to disagree. And we can go to debate. Me and sa.neter.
You say he's 90% continent.
Yeah, my first debate. Me and sa.neter.
Hold up. So, Rakufo, you're saying Dizali is 90% continent.
97.
97% of continent.
No, I'm gonna say this.
Because that's what Africa is. It's a continent.
It's the continent.
Right. And they don't call themselves African on the continent.
Well, I'm gonna say West African because we do call ourselves different parts of the continent. West, East, South, and North.
I can't wait till I come back with this information, man.
I want to hear it.
I'm gonna show y'all, brother. Because we gonna come. I'm gonna get Brother Larry out there, and we're gonna do the realism, brother. Telling you.
Can we set a definition on just
go ahead
before we go any further?
How
do you define, let's just go around, like what defines who is American?
Right. That's
I'll start with you. Yeah, who is American?
I am.
Yeah, the only reason why you say that because you lost. You don't know who you are.
Can you define? Can we set a definition though, like a foundation?
Can I just say this though?
A foundation of what is an American. What is the foundation?
A foundation is probably people who are born on American soil or are naturalized. Let's see, what are the other ways that one can be American? Born here, American, nationalized, and it's something else.
What about generations?
You got South America, North America. Which American are you?
United States citizens we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
When it comes to like being American, that's just your nationality, where you was born. I don't, but when I'm saying African American, I'm highlighting the ethnic group that I come from. I'm highlighting my DNA, right? When I say African American, I feel like, and if you look into the history of Americans, in order to become a quote unquote American, you have to get rid of your ties to your ethnic countries. Right. That's why they don't call them Irish American or Scottish American or, Jewish American anymore, because they're just white people now. Right. And I don't think as Black people, I don't like calling myself just an American because I like to highlight my ancestral history in America. And I think it's very important. And I want people to know, when you're trying to drop the African, you're dropping that ancestral history as well.
Okay. So would you say that the African slave experience, our ancestors, are they the same as the Africans today in, you know, with their experience? Or obviously they're different, right?
Yeah, obviously.
So,
but just like they're just as different as the experience of South Africans and the experience of North Africans. Like Africans just we have different experiences, period. Me and you are both, I don't know how you identify, but I'm going to assume like we are both Black women. We are both of African descent, but we don't have the same experience to the complete total degree.
Okay. I'm
So
American African. I want to clear that up.
Yo, you know what? Watch this. Hey, Suntan.
Yeah.
How old are we as a people? Just take a wild guess, you know.
You mean as Black people or as Americans?
Yeah, as so-called Americans.
Let me see. When the hell did we get here? We hundreds and hundreds of years, man.
Do you know when we became African Americans?
That's Jesse Jackson in the 80s, but
Nepal, hold on. Do you know?
I don't when that first ship
1988, brother.
1988.
1988. That's when they came up with a name called African Americans.
But that's not true.
That's not true.
We've been using that term for a very long time, and it was a part of my debate. When I was having a debate with King J, we had already been using the term African. We had already been using the term Afro.
African American.
We called
Right. I did want to get in here and respond when she had spoken, and I wanted to talk to the sister about this. The experience of the transatlantic slave trade is very unique to the people of that particular experience. And it's nothing like what South Africans and North Africans experienced. So I wouldn't say, just as they have differences in North and South Africa, and compare that to what we experienced, our ancestors here, which was such a traumatic experience and a change that we are very distinct from Africa. Yes, we are African by biology and genetics, but we are nationally, we are nothing at all like not only Africans, but like any national, any people of any nation. Europeans, like Polish people and French people, can identify and they relate more with someone in South Africa. If we're talking about understanding their nationality, if we're talking about that, then we would relate to people of Africa, even though we are genetically tied to them. We are uniquely, sadly, but uniquely the only group of people who have experienced that tragedy. And for so long. So that is the issue where a lot of Black Americans, like my brother Dizali, which I align with him, I'm very happy to be genetically African, but the first reason is because my people were kidnapped from the west coast of Africa, and they overcame all of the horrible atrocities. That's what I first relate to when I think of Africa. And then, of course, the beauty of Africa and everything, but that is what I'm connected to as an African person, a descendant of African slaves, you know? So that's why I can't just put Africa first. I have to put African slavery first. And that's how I relate to Africa.
Right.
I get that. I just feel like that's kind of playing semantics a little bit, because whether they're African enslaved people or they're still African. right? So they still came here with those traditions, and those traditions has still, manifested. It was the root of our traditions and our music, the way we dance. All of those things are still rooted in that African ancestry. So because besides the African enslavement, you also have our music that we're heavily influenced by the drums. We also have our dance movement that's heavily influenced by the hips and the shoulders and the neck bob. We still got a lot of the hairstyles that we kind of still, do from those West African tribes. So it's more than just an enslavement for me. I'm still taking in the root of it being the predecessor of whatever we created here in America. So I completely agree with you, right? The thing that I'm connecting to when I say African American with the African is the tradition, the culture, and also the enslavement, and also the civil rights, also the bloody summer, right? Also, like all of those things I'm encompassing in just that one word of being African, because I'm proud of all of it. All of it.
Right. And I agree with you when you say the things about the music and the culture. I just posted something on my on my Facebook, the little boy dancing the South African dance. I forget what it is, but they hit their foot on the ground. It's so beautiful.
Bummer. Straight bummer.
What?
Straight bummer.
What is,
Straight bummer. Is that one?
I don't know. What is that?
That's the music they use. Bummer. Straight bummer.
Oh, okay.
Straight
Okay.
bummer.
So yeah, I love the music and all these experiences. So we do align, but when you talk about the experiences of the civil rights, that's something unique to us, because everything goes back to the atrocities of slavery that this country still has not even addressed thoroughly and respected us about. And so yes, I am African, but the sad part is when I look at these beautiful dances and I listen to the music, even though I can do a DNA test and it'll tell me, okay, there's some Malian, there's some Ethiopian, I don't know who I am. None of us do. Right. And that is where I stand uniquely with my people here. No, I don't know specifically like they do. It's like it's a sad thing. You get a tear in your eye. It's bittersweet. You know you're a part of it, but you've been ripped away from it and you never can get it back. You never will know for sure. You won't know the actual family. You won't actually have anything passed down, like different types of heirlooms. They have stolen that from us. So as an American, because what they're not going to do in this country is have me as a Black woman let them have this country that my people died for, literally, that was built from their blood and flesh, literally. This is our country first. It never was a white country. It's an African country and a Native American country. They were just here bossing us around, killing us, raping us, beating us, and exploiting us. But this is our country, and we are American, and we are a unique people. We are African. We're the descendants of African slaves. We have overcome, and we didn't just overcome to stand at the bottom. We are on the very top. We're on the very top. Everybody wants to be us. And I'm so happy to be of African descendancy, but I'm even prouder to be a survivor, a descendant of African slaves who made a culture out of little bits and pieces, and little fragments of a shattered life that we had to experience as a people. So I think we both agree, but I'm letting people know clearly my position. I'm a Black American. I'm a Black American descendant of African slaves. And so this is my country. This is my country.
Yeah, I completely.
Everybody be quiet. I got Professor Larry on the phone right now. Realismism is in effect. Realism, what's up, brother? Talk to me.
Hey, sa.neter, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to educate our people over here about there's no such thing as an African, but they fighting me. Can you go in a little bit on that, on the realismism?
Well, peace to you, peace to your guests. the sister that was just speaking, right? Sister, I hear your passion, and I feel your passion, and I understand your desire to connect to your ancestors, right? But I only ask that you reflect, right? How did they become Africans? Because they didn't call themselves that, and they didn't identify themselves as that. That was something that they were called by people who were, telling them. Because, for instance, right, we know that there was a jihad in 1804 by the Fulani people, right? And they were selling other people, okay? And the other people they were selling were not slaves. They were selling prisoners of war, okay? Now, in these European or settler colonies that needed manual labor, right? It was in their interest that these people were, divested of their identity, their sense of belonging. So they went through a process before they were actually transported. I know they were held in dungeons for like months before they were put on ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason for that was because they were being stripped of their identity. They were marched to those dungeons for hundreds of miles. They were taken from the interior and brought to the coast. Those were not coastal people. Okay? They were also not African. Remember, some of them came from empires like Mali, like Shanghai, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had identity. They had a sense of themselves. They knew who they were. Now, when you come to a place where you're being held prisoner, and the prisoner name that you're being given is slave, people start referring to you as slaves. They were not slaves. They were prisoners of war, and they were brought to concentration camps and forced to work. Right?
Yep.
And they were called various forms of the word black in various what we call European languages, Dutch, English, Spanish. You're most familiar with the Spanish word for black, which is negro, right? But what you got to ask yourself is, how did the Spanish word for black become the word for black people on earth? When you look in the dictionary, how did the Spanish word for black, negro, become negroid? Okay? The Dutch word for black controlled this market. The English took this market from the Dutch in 1664. Prior to that, the Dutch had a colony here, the capital of which was New Amsterdam. The Dutch word for black is nigger. Okay? In 1619, the Dutch took 23 black people, or 23 niggers, and sold them to the English in Jamestown, Virginia. That's when they date the beginning of American slavery in 1619. However, the English also procured, quote unquote, African slaves, right? From the Spanish word being negro. That's why most of your flyers that you see in the English colonies where they're selling black people, they say they're selling Negroes. You don't see flyers where they're selling niggers. You see Negroes, the Spanish word, because the Spaniards had a sort of a contract with the Pope. So anybody doing business over here in the quote unquote New World had to have a contract with the Spaniards. That's why the Dutch, the French, the English started pirating the Spaniards. Okay?
Get back to the word
But
Africa.
Remember, we were not African until on maps they started writing Africa as that continent's name. We didn't give that name to the continent. That was a province in the north. But if you take it back further, you can take it back to the Berbers, where their word for water for the Niger River, Jir and Jir, is where Niger came from. The Romans encountered those people, and the Roman word for black, Niger, is how it got into Spanish. So we can take it back there if you want, but it was never Africa. Africa was the Roman province, Africa Proconsularis. In 202 BC, Hannibal lost to Scipio Publius, and they surnamed him Africanus because he defeated Hannibal in the province of Africa, which was a Numidian province, which was later taken by Rome and renamed Africa Proconsularis after they destroyed Carthage. Once they rebuilt it Africa Proconsularis. But the people, if for instance, if the people call themselves African, how come you got Sudan, which is black, Balada Sudan, land of the black, and ancient Kemet was black, right? Ethiopia is a form of black, mean burnt face. Okay, various forms of the word black. Even on the continent.
So just quickly, are you advocating to say black rather than African?
No, what I'm telling you is that those people on the continent have names. Those names have history, tradition, and culture. Right? Yoruba is a culture. They have a religion called Ife. Right? A long tradition. There's a whole 1,000 different cultures that have traditions. And if you want to know them, you can know them and respect them. But if you just call them African, you kind of looking at them from a foreign lens, and that's not really respectful. And you calling yourself something that basically is equivalent to like.
What I'm asking is, from the outside, right? Being an American and having that disconnect of not knowing what tribe you're from, not knowing what country, or even if you do get, your DNA done, it's usually a mixture of all of these different African people, because here we started mixing with each other, right? So having that part be prevalent, how then do you identify yourself? I understand what you're saying about identifying all of them as just African, because it is disrespectful and it doesn't speak to the differences of those cultures. But for us, being on the outside and having a completely different story, are you advocating to say black or are you still firm in not saying African because of that disconnect?
Not gonna lie, that's a heavy question. I'm kind of confused a little bit too.
He got
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
You can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. The only thing I would say to you is this, right, sister? I personally, I get accused of being American all the time, right? No, I'm not American. Okay? I understand what you think you mean when you say American, but the name of this country isn't even America. That's politics. You're getting caught up in political confusion. The name of this country is the United States of America. Okay? There's 2 other countries on this continent that could also claim to be America. That would be Mexico and Canada. Because they're both on, all 3 of them are on North America. That's the reason people refer to this as America. Okay? But the name of this country is the United States of America. Now, that's one. Number 2, those people were mixing on the continent thousands of years. They ain't just start mixing over here because some of them were taken over here. Some of them they've been being taken by Arabs for 1,000 years and being mixed. That's why he look like that. That's why you got Arabs that look like that. Because they mixed. They mixed on the continent. They've been moving around mixing. That's why your DNA come up mixed. It don't come up mixed just because of the quote-unquote transatlantic slave trade. No. There was a longer slave trade. The Saharan slave trade that's still going on today. They still got slavery on the continent of Africa right now today. They got abolitionist movement in Mauritania right now today. People in denial. A couple of years ago, they had the president of Mauritania as the head of the African Union. I'm like, how the hell he's the president of the African Union? They still got slavery in this country. What the hell? They don't care. Black lives don't matter on the continent of Africa. Now, I would suggest that you wake up, sister, and take a look around, a real look around, and see the people running from the continent of Africa. Where are they running to? Where are they running to? Now, from our perspective, we look at, these Yankees and they enemies to us. People come here, they not enemies to them. They doing quite well in the white man system.
Brother Larry, can I say something to you?
No, man. Nah, be quiet, bro. Let him finish. Come on, man. Don't take him off track.
The reason they doing quite well in the white man system is because the white man trusts them. The white man don't trust you. Why the white man don't trust you? Are you ready for some realism? A lot of y'all are just like these white people.
Oh,
and the white man know that shit. So if the white man thinking y'all just like him, the white man thinking y'all want revenge just like him. Because if we did to him what they did to us, they would be trying to annihilate us. But we just happy in the club, popping, making it rain, getting hypnotized by our own goddamn music. You understand? They got us like lab rats. So they know exactly which buttons to push. They know exactly what to stimulate and what to pull back on. Meanwhile, everything that our immediate ancestors fought, bled, and died for is being taken away. And what are people doing? They still listening to the latest rap battle.
All right, Suntan, what you got for him? You got a question?
Yeah, Brother Larry, I hear you and everything like that, And I'm a part of the realism too. This the new realism with sa.neter. He didn't, I didn't heard you talk plenty of time. Here's my point. Let's just do reality, man. I understand the scholarship, but all I'm saying in total reality, if I see some black dudes and they get to talking, I'm gonna say they from Africa. That's just reality. We know where we can't we playing semantics when we talking about, well, they from the tribe of Huba Kuba or whatever. If we hear a different language, then we gonna say they Africans. As far as the continent is concerned, Brother Larry, that is what we know we've been taught. However, we got brothers like you and more Pacific people who know that it's different. But for the greater part of it, reality is we gonna call them African.
So I'm just saying, bro, right? Look, I'm not telling you that everybody is gonna open their eyes, right? I'm telling you that the mind fuck is real. It's so real that people, they have allowed other people to define their reality. That's just real. Now, it's not just you. People from the continent of Africa will argue with you that they are African.
That part right there. Go ahead.
I have had that happen, right? And I have in a room with 6 or 7 guys, all of them from different parts of Africa, and they telling me they're African. I said, well, wait a minute. If we were on the continent of Africa, would you tell me that? And they said, I said, see, now y'all making my point without even opening your mouth. No, you wouldn't tell me that because it wouldn't make no goddamn sense, right?
Right.
They said, yeah. I said, but it only makes sense to you now because we speaking in a European language and you telling me what Europeans have taught you, and that's what you think I know. You don't think I would understand you if you told me you was from Dakar, or if you was a Fula, or if you were a Mande. You don't think I would know what that is. You telling me the TV version of you. And I'm telling you, brother, you have the TV version of reality. And matter of fact, that's kind of Donald Trump problem. He got a TV version of reality.
Anybody else got a question?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got a
I
question.
raised my hand.
No, y'all go
several
ahead. Y'all go
times.
ahead. Y'all was at work.
Who first?
Go ahead.
Who's gonna go first?
Go ahead.
Man, I wish I could have spoke a little bit sooner because it's just so much. Man, the statement in itself is just and I respect the brother's opinion, but it's just kind of like it's not gonna get us that far. We know for a fact that they are African people. Human being, like let's be honest, human beings. That's like saying I'm not a human because Africans never said that they never said the word human being, so they're not human. That's just something that the European is calling them. Then it was also contradictory in that same breath. He was like, that's something that the European is telling you. So he's identifying continentally Europeans, but he wants to do the feel-goodism of like trying to exclude Africans from their continental identity as well. It's just not. It's just the realism ain't reeling right now. That's it.
Can I respond to you?
Yes.
Can I respond to you?
Yes, go ahead.
Now, the reason I do that for the brother's understanding is for your understanding that I'm talking about them people. I don't care about them people, so I refer to them indiscriminately without regard, but you know damn well we say English, Italian, French, German. You heard me say Dutch, English, and Spanish. You heard me say that. But you also heard me say Mande. You heard me say Yoruba. You heard me say Fula. Right? What I'm saying to you, brother, is that the people you call in African, They play that shit with you over here.
Right.
When they go home, they don't play that shit with themselves.
Damn.
That's what I'm telling you. Now, unless they come from colonized countries where their countries have been so badly deteriorated, like Nigeria, the official language of which is English, although they have over 250 different ethnic groups with different languages in Nigeria, and the people in Nigeria don't even agree that they Nigerian. That's why you got so much bullshit going on over there. You got terrorist groups running around kidnapping Christian girls. You got them converting them to Islam. You got all kind of shit going on in Nigeria. They don't talk about that. The fact that you had slavery plantations in Nigeria, just like you had in the South of the United States. They don't talk about that. You understand? When you see those slave bodeggery slave museums in Nigeria, that's not from the transatlantic slave trade. That's from the Nigerian slave trade. When you hear about them talk about people being a kata, that ain't got nothing to do with us. That's over there. That's them Fulanis that enslaved them people. After the jihad in 1804 by Dan Fodio. What I'm saying to you is that maybe your view is skewed by the fact that you are in a colony, and this colony has fucked us up mentally, have us thinking the way they think, and not what we should be thinking. What we should be thinking, when you talk about identity, African is not an identity. No one is African. They don't have that on their passport. That's like people saying African food. How can it be African food when you got 54 different countries and everybody got different recipes? A lot of the West African cultures, they all make jollof rice, but that comes from a specific people. From the Jollof Empire that was destroyed in 1076 by them people you want to call Moors. You understand? The Almoravids from the Almoravitum. That was a movement. That's not a people. Moors not a people. That was a movement. And them slave soldiers that they had was the blacks that they captured. Some of them converted to Islam. Y'all better wake up.
All right, let me get the next one.
No, just real quick, 2 seconds, Si, because it's just 2 seconds.
No, I got to get the next one because he's going to go on. I got to get this out.
Give him 2 seconds,
Yep.
Yeah. I don't want, and it's not even like a response. It's just something I wanted to say to the whole thing.
Go ahead, I say.
Even with trying to do the whole indigenous identifying, we is still, as outsiders, as Black Americans over here in America, right? We is still be playing a game, because those names, those indigenous names in Africa, they changed. Like Ethiopia wasn't always Ethiopia. It was Ethiopia. It was Miro. It was Aksum. It was Demet. So even then, we'll be playing who's ever in rule game. So to avoid the whole game and who's ever in charge, naming the land, they're continental Africans, indigenous Africans. I'll end there.
Can I ask you? I just want to make this point for you, and you could take this one with you, right? Okay? If African meant anything to the people on the continent of Africa, they would have named it Africa. They would name their countries Africa. There's only 2 countries over there with Africa in their name. One of them was named by the colonizers, and the other one is where it's at. You know? Central African Republic and South Africa. The rest of them countries ain't naming themselves Africa. When the Gold Coast got its independence, it took the ancient name from the first empire, Ghana. Something that meant something to them. If Africa meant something to them, they would name it Africa. The reason our people over here call things African is because we were told we were taken from Africa. So we want to go back home to Africa. Africa's a continent. The people that left here that went to Sierra Leone under the British and the American Colonization Society that went to Liberia, they went to Liberia and Sierra Leone. They ain't go to Africa.
Okay.
They went to Liberia and fucked it up. Went over there, took this fucking white man shit over there and tried to enslave them people and made it slaves. That's why you had a Liberian Civil War. You do know that, right? That was the Americo-Liberians that was at fault for that shit. They took that white man shit over there. Know what I'm saying? Want to be the master.
All right, Dasani, what you got?
Yeah, peace. I want to say peace to the brother, to the elder Larry. I definitely am with the realismism. I'm with realismism to the point where I like it blood raw realism to the point where even some black people don't like what I say, brother Larry. So with that, I want to start with a word, evolution. And I'm going to follow that word evolution up with, yes, at one time it was all about tribes. Well, before it was about tribes, it was about families. Then that evolved to tribes. And what happened in the short form is that those African tribes ran into that next evolution called nations. And nations kind of took advantage of those tribes because a tribe is not any match for a nation because a nation is bigger and it's organized, and they took advantage of those tribes. So it's kind of sounding like you're almost wanting to return to something that's now obsolete. Those tribes really, even though they don't know it yet, those tribes, and like you said, that's why they have so much foolishness over there. Those tribes are kind of obsolete in the 21st century because it's all about nations. Well, it's moving past nation to globalization, another evolution. So even if they don't call themselves Africans, they might want to catch up to the rest of the world, realize that tribes got stepped on and ate by nations. And now it's all about what nation are you a part of? That's a big reason why this country that we live in, the United States of America, is so powerful. We organize. They're over there, they have what? Like 300 ethnicities, so many different types of languages. They had better try and consolidate all of that, or they're going to continue to get stepped on. But Brother Larry, let me close it in with this right here. Do you agree that they may want to evolve into nationhood also, because no tribe is going to beat a nation, as we saw?
How raw you want this?
I like it blood raw. That's how I like to get it to them.
How raw do you want this?
Give it to me, brother.
because you've been watching too much TV. If you don't think that these motherfuckers is tribal over here in America, what you think these white people up to? You don't think that's tribalism? Why? Because they call it white supremacy? You don't understand that's tribalism? There's no such thing as white supremacy. That's a talking point. That's like saying black power. White power, black power. Those are talking points, bro. When you got guns to back up your talking point, that's when your talking point got teeth. Not when you got hands up, don't shoot, no justice, no peace. That's not peace. You understand? On one side, you got wolves. On the other side, you got sheep. Wolves eat sheep. That's real. Now, the fact that you think those people on the continent of Africa are tribal to their detriment. No, actually, they're to their empowerment. The fact that there's a well, he's kind of infamous to me, but he's famous to y'all. A guy who united a bunch of tribes, right, by killing up a bunch of black people. His name was Shaka Zulu. He killed up a whole bunch of black people and made the Zulu nation, right? At the same time, Shaka Zulu was killing black people and making the Zulu nation, them white people was landing in South Africa, and he knew it. He encountered them. He ain't chopped their ass up. You understand? Now, I'm going to tell you this, right? At the same time, like Shaka Zulu was killing black people, but white people could visit him and hell, big great king and all that bullshit. When you have wars on the continent of Africa now, white reporters can go over there and report and not get killed. They can go and, if you don't believe me, right, there's a video up when they captured Samuel Doe, and they torturing Samuel Doe, and they killing Samuel Doe. That would be the president of Liberia. They killing him, right? And there's white reporters there reporting. They ain't killing them. You understand? So maybe our understanding, remember, we have a different understanding than other people. I know we don't like to kind of admit that, but on the continent of Africa, you have people who were conquered by other people, right? Their cultures were captured by other people, and they still have those cultures. They just being ruled over by other cultures, right? Whereas our ancestors were betrayed. We were not conquered. We were betrayed and sold off like fucking chickens. Now, they made some good deals. They got weapons and the shit they needed for us. Now, quiet as it's kept, the white man got the best deals because they took the best workers from over there. That's why they farms and agriculture and shit started booming once we got here. They took the agriculturally skilled laborers from over there and brought them over here. My brother, really need you to understand we are our own people. Okay? Now, what we need to do is convene a conference and decide and comprehend the fact that we are our own people and name ourselves. Up until that time, we will be black, like every other black person on the planet Earth. Right?
All right, Larry, I got one more. His name is Me Myself. Me Myself. You got a question? Last one. Oh, I don't know if Napoleon got a question. Yeah, I hear you. Talk up.
All right, yeah, okay. I had to figure out how this stream y'all work. It worked different than Zoom. But hey, I just had a few points and questions, really. Pretty much what he just said was that we were our own worst enemy, and we the reason that we got into the type of chattel slavery that we're in. And just to summarize what I just heard in the last 30 seconds from the brother. But I want people to look up what Africa really means, right? What a free means is, the etymology of that is dirt and dust, right? And so when you think about what that means, it means the same thing as Adamu, Adam, etc., right? So we are the people of this earth, not just that specific landmass. So I'm wondering, like, I think we already knew that. And then we got a perversion of it via the English language that we're speaking now. And now we're backtracking and connecting the dots, right? And coming into our own true understanding of what the root understanding was, right? The second point, I got one more point after this. The second point was Indians. Indians, they're saying that what was written was in Dios. And so in Dios means in God. And so just like we out of the earth everywhere, we are people of God because that's what all this sparks from. Regardless of your religion or how you want to comprehend it, that's what it means, right? Second, Kemet means Mizra or M-I-S-R, which means Mizraim, which is the son of Ham. So literally the people of Egypt, which is the one enslaving the people, are the Hamitic people. So who are the ones that are supposed to go into slavery? Because according to what the etymology says, Hamitic people are the actual Egyptians. I just wanted to throw that out there. And I got some more points, but I know you short on time, so but yeah, y'all got it.
Well, let me address the ones that you just brought up, right?
For sure.
Real briefly, right? Because what you're doing is you kind of mixing up some terms when you measuring, that's them Arabs, right? And I got to tell you, right? You really want to just make yourself a Hebrew. Go ahead, be a Hebrew, bro. Ain't nobody gonna stop you, right? But
I'm a Christian.
Don't try to don't try to make everybody Hebrew. And no, it's not time to accept. It's time to realize, hey, wait a minute. Tricks is being played, right? And perhaps because those tricks are being played, it is preventing us from doing the necessary work. Okay? Remember, here's how I want you to think about this. And all of you who hear me, this is the only thing I want you to think about. Right? We are African everywhere we are. And everywhere we are, we're different. Now, if we were African everywhere we are, we would be the same everywhere we are. Now, in Jamaica, they even sing songs, no matter who you are, you're African. But then they come here and tell you they Jamaican and you Yankee. You Trini. You Bayesian. They don't believe that shit, bruh. We playing word games. No, bro, they don't. I'm not playing word games. The ones who believe that, they took their ass over to Ethiopia to Shashamani.
That's what they do to all true speakers.
I got a cousin that is in Liberia right now because he thinks he's a Hebrew Israelite and he went back to his roots. He is my second cousin, my first cousin's son. Okay? My father's sister's grandson. He is in Liberia right now. He's a Hebrew and he went back to his roots. I said, see you later. Because that's his roots. That's not my roots. Right? I'm from the village of Harlem. My name is Brother Larry. Right? I'm not under any illusion. Just like, have you ever heard of the Zanj Rebellion?
No.
Y'all should look that up. Because the Arabs were taking black people from the East Coast to Africa for a long time. And in 800 AD, they had a big ass rebellion in Iraq that lasted for like 10 years. They almost stopped the caliphate. The Zanj Rebellion, right? What I need you to understand is that this version of history has us here. There has been other versions of history that have black people in other places taken to other places by other people, right? And if you understand the traumatic impact of this on the continent of Africa, right? You would understand why people hold on to their cultures, their history, their traditions. Okay? You would understand why even in Ethiopia, right? You have different people. You have You have Amharic people, the ones the ones you have different people. They was like some slave holders. That's why people have beef with them. Go on and check out Ethiopia. You romanticize that shit if you want to, right? I'm just telling you, I'm anti-slavery, right? Anybody,
Big facts, me
anywhere,
three.
who was taking black people as slaves was my enemy. Anybody, anywhere. I don't care what they look like.
All right.
I don't care if they
All right. Hey, Nepal, you got a question, Nepal?
German, English, German, it don't matter. They was my enemy.
All right. Sa.7, you got a question, brother?
Yeah, I do have a question. First, I want to say peace to you. I want to say peace to you, Sa, and everybody on the panel and in the chat. And peace to.
I can't understand you anymore.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I can't understand you anymore.
Okay. I wanted to address my brother, Professor Larry. I appreciate all that you've.
I can't hear you, Larry.
You can't hear me?
No.
Okay, man. I wanted to address because there was a lot. Even though I love the realism of Brother Larry, he does a lot of
bad.
Yeah, he can't hear you. So, yo, Larry, thank you, brother. Peace to you. And we out.
All right, peace.
Peace. All right. Sorry about that, Asa.
That's no problem. I came in late. But I did want to address some of the generalization that Brother Larry was doing, though.
I hope y'all learned something. Instead of trying to prove him wrong, what you should be doing is looking up what he said. Simple as that. Look it up.
It's not about proving him wrong, sa.neter. It's about making sure. Yeah, I'm not saying that he was wrong. What I'm saying is there's generalizations of history, and we can't come on platforms and put complete generalizations on history. That's all I'm saying. If we're gonna be right and exact, and if Brother Larry can talk about the realism, then let's keep it real. Let's not try to cover for people because we're friends with them. Let's make sure the information is exact. So we can't generalize and say that African people sold themselves out. That's not the complete truth of the history.
Yeah, me myself. If I was you, brother, I would be quiet. You trying to be a brain dead Israelite, brother.
I ain't even say nothing, bro.
Because you trying to be an Israelite, brother, in these days and time.
I'm a Christian.
So I wouldn't even be, even that, a Christian. Come on, brother. You should be quiet and just come up here and learn, brother.
Hey, son, I got smoke for you too about what you was talking about the other day. You saw me in the chat, man. I'm gonna let y'all go.
Yeah, I seen you. Go ahead. What you got?
Oh, what I got for smoke? Oh, okay. Hey, bro. When y'all was talking about slavery, right? Just, because it kind of feeds into what we was just talking about, African and slavery. When you actually read the whole chapter before and after, right? When they're talking about eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth,
right?
It literally says, right? If you cause a stripe on your slave, you got to set them free. You break a tooth, set them free, or you lose your tooth. You actually kill the slave, you must get killed yourself.
Okay.
That was the new covenant, the new law, right?
Slavery, huh? So
no,
it don't.
It's correcting what they thought slavery should be and what it's supposed to be. It's telling you.
Why don't you read the part where it says, if your master tell you to do something and you don't listen, you should be beaten with many stripes. Read that one.
Yeah, but then you have the end all be all, right? The trump card, which is Jesus Christ. No pun intended to the person in the White House, but because he's a clown. But what I'm saying is the end all be all in that book of books is telling you that your master obey your slave and slave obey your master. So what that means in parable form, right? Yeah, it's deeper than deep, right? Mariana Trench. What it means is you don't have no slave and do unto them what you won't be done unto you. You put a stripe on their back, you free them. You kill them, you get yourself killed. That's the end all. That's the final law. All the other stuff before, I get it. That's in scripture. But that's right before those people got freed from being slaves, like chattel slavery in Egypt. That's why I brung up the Mizraim and how in Arabic, MISR literally means Kemet. And that's referring to the son of Noah, which is Ham.
All right. We don't believe that nonsense, brother.
Yeah, I know. Just
You're still dealing with fairy tales. But anyway, Suntan, what channel is Detroit on? Peacock? What? I can't hear you.
They on Peacock, huh?
They on channel 4 too, right?
Yeah.
It's on Peacock. Let me see if it's on.
They already started.
Yeah, it's 44-35. Detroit
All right.
win the second
All
quarter.
right. Peace and Black Power family. I got to get up out of here. Talk to y'all later. I got to root against them. Put that energy out. I got to put this energy against them. So, peace and Black Power.
Scared of them Pistons.
We out here.
Who wants the smoke? Who wants the smoke? Yeah. Who wants the smoke? Yeah. Who?
I forgot. Before I do that, let me say this.
All right, yo, man, listen. Y'all gonna have to stop being afraid to talk to us over here in America.
I'm not faggot though.
No, I ain't say you faggot, man.
I have to talk to them whatever
No, brother, no, we know faggot over here, man.
We have to talk to them.
I want to. Oh, come here. Yeah, there you go. Now let's ask the Africans.
One.
Yes.
The rest who gonna marry them?
Right.
So we have to deal with it all.
Now watch this. Watch this. What part of Africa you from?
I'm from West.
West Africa. What part of Africa you from?
It's the same thing.
What do you call yourselves in West Africa? The tribal name.
My tribal name?
Yes, in West Africa.
My tribal name is Yigo.
Who?
Yigo.
Legal, not
Yigo.
Right.
Yes.
Not Mandinka.
No, Mandinka. It's the same.
Now, do you call yourselves African in Africa?
No.
Thank you. They are.
Well, listen, you
Stop,
can
man. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Suntan? Suntan, did you hear that? Suntan, you don't hear me? Okay, he don't hear me. Do y'all hear me in the chat? Do everybody
I heard
hear
it.
me? All right, so why you ain't saying nothing, brother? You heard what he said. They do not call themselves Africans. That was my argument. They only say that over here because that's what you've been trained to know them as. But they don't call themselves that. Let's hear it again. The tribal name.
My tribal name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out.
Right.
So we have to deal with it all.
Now watch this. Watch this. What part of Africa you from?
I'm from West.
West Africa. What part of Africa you from?
It's the same thing.
What do you call yourselves in West Africa? The tribal name.
My tribal name?
Yes, in West Africa.
My tribal name is Yigo.
Who?
Yigo.
Legal, not
Yigo.
Right.
Yes.
Not Mandinka.
No, Mandinka. It's the same.
Now, do you call yourselves African in Africa?
No.
Thank you.
You know you're African, right? Listen, you
Stop,
can
man.
them.
Just stop saying
You
that,
can
brother.
tell them.
Go
I
ahead.
can say I'm an African.
Thank you.
I'm from Africa.
Thank you.
From Africa. That's it.
See what he said? I
Yeah.
can't say I'm African. I'm from Africa.
Yes, but I
And
know
they
that.
do not, be quiet for a minute. And they do not call themselves Africans over there on the continent.
Right.
Because there's so many different sets, different tribes. And so they got to address who they are so people will know what culture you are, who you are, where you come from. That's what they call themselves, bro.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. If you
See, this dude that I've been debating with all day, oh my God, he was getting on my nerves.
American, the one who's debating with you.
Brother, you got to
If
stop,
somebody,
man.
people
Yeah, man.
standing. It's a school. That's what it means. It's a school.
Right.
If people standing like this, if it's school, you're gonna lose though.
Thank you.
If you go and you see people standing, oh, those is African. Yes. Those people is African. If they ask you, you say you cannot say I'm an African. I'm from Africa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're still African. If you're from Africa, you're still African.
Brother, you don't understand.
You losing somebody. Yes, I do understand.
If they ask you,
We've got to.
You got an African telling this goddamn dude, and he's trying to tell a damn African who we are and what they call themselves.
Right.
He was getting on my nerves, bro.
Lift one another and teach the children.
If they ask you,
You're
if
older
ask you,
cat too.
oh, who is you? You say I'm American. No, I'm from America.
Right.
No, I'm African American.
No.
I'm not no American.
No, listen.
If I was
I'm
American, I wouldn't
African
have been
American.
in.
You don't want to listen, you ain't going to learn.
No, I'm
Here
not
we
no
are.
American.
Here we are in front of an African telling you what they are.
But he can't tell me what I am.
No, we're in the
Okay.
same page.
Thank you, man. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I just got to get out there.
He don't know.
He's getting on my nerves.
What part of Africa you from?
Africa.
What part?
Burkina Faso.
Burkina. What do you call yourselves in Burkina Faso? What do you call yourselves? What's your tribal name? Right. You don't call yourselves African in Africa. Because only here in America. Because that's all they think they know you by. But in Africa, you don't call yourselves African. You call yourselves by your tribal name that you go by. So the people that know who you are. He don't know. See, he said the same thing.
Oh, man.
You don't know,
When
brother.
you got the brothers from the continent, now I'm gonna stop a 20-year-old looking African. Let me see where he at. He walking up the street.
Do you call yourselves in Senegal?
Yeah, here you go. Here you go.
What do you?
We gonna win in the end.
Here you
We
go.
gonna win out as African people. We gonna win out as African people. Nothing
We're
else.
not Africans, brother.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, no, he
Besides,
is.
you don't know that.
Here you go.
Let me ask you a question, brother. Let me ask you a question. What part of Africa are you from? What do you call yourselves in Senegal? What do you call yourself in Senegal? You don't say I'm African. You go by the name, the tribal name. You say Senegalese, but you don't call yourselves African, right? Thank you.
See that?
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I got it.
I could go on and on, man.
Yeah,
See
I
that?
got the point.
It's like
deal with realism.
I'm gonna learn nothing new, man.
Yeah,
You don't want to learn nothing new.
The older brother, he don't want to learn shit.
The hell they look like saying I'm African.
He don't want to
You got
learn.
these different tribes in Mexico. You know how many? Nobody's who you are, bro.
Yeah, they.
Where you at? That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I'm out here. Peace and black power to you, brother Santan.
Oh, you see the score, don't you?
Nah, I ain't got it on yet. I'm out of here. I gotta
Okay.
go.
All right,
Peace.
peace.
Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Yeah. Who wants to smoke? Ooh, yeah. Temperatures going up, the heat is rising, scholars showing up, audience vibing. We on a mission, competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the mercy of fire? So step up, stand up, can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough for the weak soft shells. Set the fire, fan the flame, smoke is rising in blooms. While the inexperienced today just does the choke on the fumes. Bring your science, bring the wisdom, even bring your religion. If you can't stand the heat, then please don't come in the HOK. It's just a session, learn a lesson, fighting overcome oppression. Who'll be the best debated? By the time all the smoke clears, who wants to smoke? I want the smoke. This environment is the toughest, so bring your best in. Put your spirit to the test. You stepping into the ring with the scholar with the no digits harder. I will make you holler in the information flow with power. You wanted to peak, the elite, the undisputed. Now watch as your outdated theories get refuted. I'm posted in the den, let the world burn. Pressure in the room, it's finally my turn. They want the smoke, I'm the whole forest fire.